The next of the rudiments we're going to talk about is called a multiple bounce roll or a buzz roll. The trick with this is there's a lot more to this than simply telling you how to do it and giving you a straight sticking, because it's not as straight ahead as the others might be. In this case, you're going to take your stick. You're going to look at your hand, and what you're going to try and do is take your back fingers and try and lay them as loose on the stick as possible. All of the tension for a bounce roll, whether it be a double stroke or a multiple bounce like we're about to do, all of that comes from the pinching motion of these two fingers on the stick. My underside of my index finger is actually going to help the stick from the underneath part to make sure it doesn't go flying out of my hand. And when I lay the stick down, I'm actually going to press there nice and hard. And I'm actually going to lay my wrist slightly forward and press more with a downward motion. When I do that, if I do it the right way, what should happen is not that the stick is going to hit the head and stay on the head, but instead going to give me a bounce stroke because it's so much force, and I get this sound. I'll do that again. Again, take a look at my fingers, the way that they are. I even take my back fingers off a little bit in the beginning. This is the opposite of good technique, I'd like to reiterate. But in the beginning stages of learning how to roll, it helps quite a bit to know. So let me try that again. Again, pinching here and down, and left hand is done exactly the same way in your case. Right stick again. And you really want to get used to that feel. Just that nice bouncy feel where the stick bounces on the head a bunch of times. Make sure that, we call this the fulcrum. Make sure that fulcrum is nice and tight and everything should work properly. So we're going to take a buzz roll, a multiple bounce roll. We're going to go from slow to fast to slow the same way with that bouncy stroke. So let's try it and see what it comes out like. Stop. And you can tell that I went from slow to fast to slow with that. And the faster you go, the more you have to really pinch that fulcrum nice and tight. The slower you are, the more you want that fulcrum to be loose. Otherwise, it's just going to make it really, really difficult to do anything, and you will wind up getting this sound instead. That's not the sound that we want. All right, so make sure when you practice, try and make sure that you're loose at all times. And right now we have just covered number 4 on our rudiments list, the multiple bounce roll. Go ahead, get practicing.